Do you have a hard time saying no without feeling guilty? Or you feel like you're going to be rude if you do say no? If you do, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to say no when you want to invitations, to opportunities, and to favors and requests. And I'm going to give you the process for doing it and some specific examples of what to say. First of all, if you have a hard time saying no, it could be because you feel like even though you don't want to do something, that you actually need to do something. So if that is you, then don't be so quick to answer. Really think about, do I really need to say yes to this? And if so, why do I need to say yes to this? Is it because I will feel guilty, but I really don't want to do it? Or is it something that I feel like I need to say yes to because even though it's a little uncomfortable, I know that I really do want to do it? There is a big difference in those two. So it really does come down to, do you really want to say yes, or do you really want to say no? The first thing you need to do, regardless of whether you say yes or no, is to actually thank the other person for asking you, unless they're asking you for a favor. But if they're making a request for an invitation or for an opportunity that you really do end up saying no to later, you still want to say, thank you for thinking of me. I really appreciate you including me. And next, if it is something that you need to think about and then you decide that your answer is no, give them a direct answer as soon as possible. Don't say, well, let me think about it, or let me get back to you, and then they're sitting there wondering, and then they have to initiate back with you. You be the one to let them know when you will get back with them, and make it sooner rather than later. And when you get back to that person, make sure that you're giving them an answer of no that they understand is a no, and that it's brief and direct. You don't have to get into a long story or a long justification. When you do that, it looks like you're either making excuses or you're trying to get them to understand why your answer is no when your answer is still no. So you don't have to get into a long story. And for some of you, you actually may want to prepare your answer ahead of time so that you don't find yourself getting into these long explanations of justification. How do you say no politely rather than just say, my answer is no? Here are some ways that you can say no and do it with kindness. You can say something like, I'm not able to do that right now. Or I already have plans. I've got a lot going on right now. I need to focus on other things right now. I'm going to have to say no. You see, I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't take on any new projects, or I wouldn't overfill my calendar, or I wouldn't loan money anymore. Surprisingly, if you made a promise to yourself, people are going to respect that. And the last step, after you've told them no, if it is something that you do want them to ask you about again, maybe it's an opportunity or maybe it's an invitation, let them know to ask you again or think of you again in the future. If you don't do that, then sometimes the other person thinks you're just not interested at all. But only do it if you want them to ask you again. Now, do you have some creative ways of saying no? If so, please share those in the comments below. And if you know of someone who this video could benefit, I hope you'll share it. And thanks for watching.